Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. It's May, but the week one schedule was released. I haven't looked at the spreads, but I'm going to handicap each game. Last time I did this was in the playoffs, and I was correct. 4 out of the 6 games or 5 out of 6, can't remember. But let's get to it. Thursday night football to start the NFL season for 2023. We got the Buffalo Bills at the Los Angeles Rams. I got the Rams -1. We know the Bills are a better team, and they're the clear favorite going into this year. Adding Von Miller is just fire. You can't quantify how much an effect it's going to have. But I got the Rams at -1 just due to home field advantage. You don't know how the Bills are going to start the season. They started it slow last year. This is going to be a close game. It's going to be a good game. That's why it's starting off the NFL season. Rams -1, but I'm not all that excited about the Rams going into this season. I think the big question for them is how good is Stafford going to be? And is losing Robert Woods, no Odell Beckham, how is it going to affect them? Those are my big questions about the Rams. Next game, Sunday 1 o'clock slate. We got the Philadelphia Eagles at the Detroit Lions. I got Eagles -3, and I know there's a lot of hype. There's a lot of good things to say about the Lions. It actually looks like they have a competent rebuild for the first time in 15 to 20 years. I like Dan Campbell. I like his gusto, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be favored this game, and that doesn't mean they're going to win it. I think the Eagles are a little bit of a sleeper. -3 is probably what Vegas is going to give them. I haven't looked at the handicap yet that Vegas has given, but Hurts, everyone likes to throw stones, but we made a lot of money betting Hurts when others shat on him, and I see no reason why he doesn't improve. Now, he's not going to be accurate, he's not going to be consistent, but he makes 4 or 5 big plays every single game, and it's just enough for them to win. I think that's what happens here. Next game, we got the San Francisco 49ers at the Chicago Bears, the Bears, 49ers -4. And there's just something about this Bears team that says they're sandbagging Justin Fields. Where are the wide receivers? And don't tell me Darnell Mooney is a good enough receiver to put around a young quarterback and see what he can do. It just isn't enough. It's not good enough. It's lazy. It's not even rebuilt. I don't know what the Bears are doing. And the 49ers, they're in limbo at quarterback. Is it Lance? Is it Garoppolo? What the hell are they doing with Garoppolo? I don't. No one knows what they're doing. 49ers -4, and they probably win this game easily. What the hell are the Bears doing at wide receiver? It's one storyline no one wants to talk about during the offseason, and I don't know why. They're setting Justin Fields up to fail, and he will fail. This offense is garbage. Next game, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cincinnati Bengals. I got Bengals -4, and I loved what the Bengals did this offseason. You add 3 or 4 above average offensive linemen, and they actually address the biggest needs of the team. Now, with offensive line, we have to take a wait-and-see approach. Look at what the Chiefs did last year. They restructured the offensive line completely, and it didn't gel in the week 6, 7, or 8. I could see a similar thing happen for the Bengals, but Bengals are still going to be -4 here. They probably should be more playing at home with that explosive offense, but you always have to put respect on Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, and they always keep games close. Now, is it Trubisky? Is it Pickett? I don't think it makes a big bit of difference when we're talking handicap. I know everyone wants to talk about who's better, Pickett, Trubisky, who deserves their start. Pickett, Trubisky. Listen, when we're setting spreads, when we're trying to make money, it doesn't make a bit of difference. Both are marginal quarterbacks in this league. And I think people need to remember just how bad Trubisky was when he was a starter. Sitting on the bench against Josh Allen doesn't make you any better. It just doesn't. Next game, we got the New England Patriots at the Miami Dolphins. I got Dolphins. I think they're going to get the Dolphins -3. Now, of course, we know that Vegas is going to love the Patriots. The public is going to love the Patriots. But Dolphins -3 here, I don't think we need to reinvent the wheel. I don't like Tua, but it doesn't mean he won't win this game, especially since the Patriots struggle in Miami. There's not a whole lot to say about this. We've seen this game the last 3 or 4 years. It's Miami -3. Let's roll with it. Next game, we got the Cleveland Browns at the Carolina Panthers. Matt Rule looks like he's just waiting to get fired there. I got the Browns -4. Now, this is the hardest game to handicap because with the Panthers, you don't know who the quarterback is going to be. And even if Matt Corral or Darnold starts, doesn't really matter. No, it doesn't, because it's bad quarterback play no matter which way you look at it. And then when you look at the Browns, what the hell is happening with Deshaun? Why hasn't Goodell laid down the suspension yet? My guess, I'm putting a bet on the table here. I don't think Deshaun gets suspended this year. I don't see it happening. I think it comes next year. But does that make anyone more comfortable betting? Does that make anyone more comfortable putting in a future bet for Deshaun Watson and the Browns? No, it doesn't. It's the hardest game to handicap because of that. But Browns actually are pretty good. I wish they added another wide receiver. I don't think Amari Cooper and Donovan Peoples-Jones are enough. But I think Deshaun is a huge upgrade over Baker Mayfield. Next game, we got the Indianapolis Colts, Matt Ryan, at the Houston Texans. I got Colts -5, could be more, but I think the Texans are scrappy. We don't know what this Lovie Smith move is going to do to the locker room, and we don't know if it's going to have a positive effect on X's and O's or a negative effect. Personally, I like the other coach more. I felt like he should have kept the job, but it's neither here or there. Colts -5. I mean, Colts have the best roster when you look at non-luxury positions, offensive line, linebacker. I mean, they got some great players on those units, but also you can keep it close against them. And I wonder if Matt Ryan, Pittman's a pretty good player, but outside of Pittman, what you got at tight end, what you got at wide receiver. I mean, you could say Mo Alley-Cox, and that's fine. I think his play is going to step up, but I still feel like there needs to be more. Colts -5. And I don't think the Texans have the weakest roster in the league this year. I think it's actually the Seattle Seahawks. Next game, we got the Jacksonville Jags after that terrible free agency. One of the worst free agencies I've ever seen, spending money for nothing. Jags at the Commanders. Commanders -3. Vegas might make this -4 or -5, but I think there's going to be some happy vibes just because there's no Urban Meyer, just because the Jags spent a lot of money. And listen, this is a Trevor Lawrence podcast. The kid's better than people think. But I still think the wide receiver core is the weakness of this team. And to attack the Commanders, you want to attack their secondary. We'll see what Wentz does. We'll see what Wentz does against this Jags defense again. Last time he played the Jags defense, he got absolutely destroyed. That's why I got this at -3. I don't want to go up anymore. And plus, are the Commanders really all that good? And I don't like the name the Commanders. I prefer the no names. Next game, we got the New Orleans Saints at the Atlanta Falcons. I think the Saints are -5 here. I originally wrote down -3, But the more I think about it, the more I get excited about the Saints. They got a top 5 defense. They got a running game. Famous Jameis Winston is back. Olave, Michael Thomas at wide receiver. I just think they're more solid at every position than the Falcons. And also, I love Marcus the Magic Man Mariota. But at the end of the day, he's only good as a backup spark to come in and give you 3 or 4 good games. Could this be one of his good games? Possibly, but Atlanta is really, really barren. And for a team that, is unloading people like Matt Ryan, they haven't gotten a lot of draft picks or anything back to compensate. Maybe they'll get a late signing of Julio Jones just to show some goodwill to the community. But I don't know, man. The Falcons are looking pretty bad. And this is coming from a guy who really likes what Arthur Smith is doing there. Next game, we got the Baltimore Ravens. I think they're going to get – I got this at -4. Ravens at Jets. I think I got it at Ravens -4, but I think Vegas is going to come in big here at Ravens -6, Ravens -7. Vegas loves the Ravens every year, especially the last 4 years, and we've won money fading that. And I think this is another instance. Like, if this is -6, -7 in favor of the Ravens, hell, give me the fucking Jets, man. I'm getting crazy again with the Jets. We know how bad they were. We know how bad that solid defense was last year. And Zach Wilson wasn't accurate at all. But we can't underestimate that the Jets actually had a good offseason, and they didn't go crazy like the Jags, wasting cap for below-average players. I think the Jets are better than people think. I'm not saying they're getting like 6, 7 wins, but I think they can compete with teams against the Ravens, and I think the Ravens got some serious problems. Lamar Jackson's health, a deteriorating offensive line. Where's the pass rush? Where's the pass rush? I'm not seeing it from the Ravens. Next game, we got the Green Bay Packers, Rodgers at the Minnesota Vikings. I got this as a pick 'em. And, the Packers are better than the Vikings, but it's only because of Aaron the Game Rodgers. I've been critical of the Packers for the last 6, 7 years, but I have never seen the Packers enter a season with a weaker roster top to bottom than this year. Devontae Adams going, Scantling going. Like, the whole receiving core was sapped. And I don't think adding Sammy Watkins and a few rookies is enough to get me excited. They didn't get any of the A-list purebred rookies. So I'm not seeing the optimism for the Packers. I think this is a pick 'em, and we know Minnesota always plays close games, and they're viable to lose close games with Kirk Cousins. Next game, we got the New York Giants at the Tennessee Titans. Right now, we got the Giants. I got them at Giants +8. I think the Giants are terrible. I don't think they ever put an offensive line around Daniel Jones, and I think that's the biggest bugaboo of that team. Yes, getting a new head coach. Yes, getting Dable in there will provide some better vibes, will provide some better coaching than Joe Judge, but the Titans are going to come out focused, and the Titans losing A.J. Brown, I think that was the biggest blow of the offseason. But the Giants aren't going to really put their foot on the Titans' neck to really force that weakness in them. The Titans are just going to run the ball down their throat. Next game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Los Angeles Chargers. I think this is going to be Chargers -4. I think the Chargers might have had the best offseason in the league. I like what they did. The Chargers really – their only weakness on the team at this point is offensive line. I think that's their biggest issue, but they look like they're solving it. And I really like what they did, shoring up the run defense, adding Khalil Mack as another pass rush threat. And on the Raiders, getting Devontae Adams and Josh McDaniels isn't anything to smug your nose at. Let's be honest about it. But the Raiders' offensive line, it's actually really bad. and they're a team that needs to run the ball. They need to use play action, and their defensive line, I think, you add Chandler Jones, and that's all well and good, but they've still got some holes in the secondary. There's just something missing from this Raiders stew, and I can't put my hand on it. I actually think the Raiders could have a better record than the Broncos. So yeah, I'm not completely out on the Raiders. I'm just really in on the Chargers. Next game, we got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Cardinals. I think it's going to be Chiefs -3. Now, Chiefs have to figure out how to beat too deep coverage, too deep man-to-man. You take Tyreek the Thrill Hill out of that equation. You add Juju Smith. I think the Chiefs are going to try to throw more underneath routes this year. They're going to try to run the ball more. Yeah, I guess that's good, but Arizona starts the season strong. Kyler Murray's better than people think. I think this is a toss-up game, and I think this is a game the Chiefs could easily lose, and this is one of those type of games that, can the Chiefs afford to lose this game with the AFC West being a complete juggernaut? I'm not so sure about it. I really think this is one of the best games of the weekend. And, maybe the only thing holding the Cardinals back from winning this game is Cliff Kingsbury. I was disappointed the Cardinals lost Chandler Jones, but their defense always seems to be below average, and they give above average results every year. So I can't criticize too much. Next game, Sunday Night Football, Week 1. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brady's back at the Dallas Cowboys. Bucs -3. I don't think there's a lot of science here. You got two good football teams. You got one consistent football team in the Bucs, and you got a very inconsistent team in the Dallas Cowboys, and that's why it's going to be Bucs -3. I'm excited about the Bucs more than other people. Have they rejuvenated enough? Not really, but I think Brady coming back, with Bowles and Leftwich, I actually think that's the juice and the rejuvenation they need. You guys know I'm not a big Bruce Arians guy. I actually think that helps, and we'll see what Mike McCarthy does this year with the Cowboys. I'm not optimistic. Monday Night Football and last game of the week, we got the Denver Broncos, Russell America Wilson at the Seattle Seahawks. I got the Broncos -6. And, I think the Broncos are going to go through some growing pains. Russell Wilson hasn't been good the last 2 years, especially in the second half of the season. No one wants to talk about that, but I will. I'm a huge Russell America Wilson fan. I think he's got great targets. Jerry Jeudy could be suspended the first 4 games. That's not good. But even with that being said, they got a pretty good running game, good targets, and a pretty good defense. But the -6 is more about the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are the worst team in this league. Drew Lock, Geno Smith, a rookie left tackle, a rookie right tackle. Can it get any worse? Can it get any uglier? They don't got a pass rush. They don't got a secondary. Seahawks are the worst team in this league. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe. The best gambling show on the internet.